And we are live, guys, and today we're gonna talk about porn addiction recovery. I was gonna plan it out and make bullet points and make this all perfect and stuff like that, but you know what? That's not what you need. You need an epic rant. You need a person who is serious about this and who knows what he's talking about and who has, in many ways, overcome porn addiction. Now, it helps a lot when you're married, but even in marriage, there's so many guys who are still addicted to porn because those pathways have developed throughout their youth and throughout their teenage years, and they're still there, and you still desire that outlet of porn and ejaculation and masturbation. So what we're going to talk about is the elephant in the room. It is, in some ways, kind of disgusting to think about that most people, like we're talking 95%, 98%, how many people behind closed doors masturbate. It's in some ways disgusting to think about when you have the opportunity of many, I'm not saying everyone, but there are several women out there who could be having a fantastic relationship with you in a committed married relationship, but we choose to stay away, which is the rational and logical thing to do today because marriage is really difficult. Not necessarily because of the women, yes, but also because of the laws that are in place that favor women in general. So anyway, bringing it back to porn addiction. That's the elephant in the room that no one talks about and yet is a massive problem. It is, and it needs solutions. And just like, you talk about elephants, it's kind of like porn addiction, porn. It's like the pink elephant. If I tell you, don't think about a pink elephant, then you're going to think about the pink elephant. And it's just like that in terms of masturbation and porn. If you want to get rid of porn and get rid of masturbation, you need to talk about it, solve the problem, and then you need to move on with your life. You need to replace it with productive measures and productivity in general. Having a goal. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at the end. But in general, you can't be thinking about porn and masturbation every single day, all the time, watching YouTube videos about it again and again and again. You need to set yourself some goals. Anyway, that's the pink elephant. So what are we going to do? First of all, well, I've got 3 ways. Number 1 is to remove triggers. Number 2 is to make it non-desirable. And number 3 is to have a goal. And I'll explain more about that. Removing triggers. What are some things that you can do to remove triggers? What are some triggers that you have? Make a list of it. Take out a piece of paper, pause this video right now, or after I've explained it, and write down the things that trigger your masturbation and your watching porn. What is it that triggers it? What is it that makes you, you know what? I kind of feel like doing this right now. Yeah, it would be really nice if I did this. Oh, you know what? I need to masturbate. Oh, I can't sleep. Whatever it is, write it down. Unless you actually make it physical with a pen and paper, you're not going to do anything about it. You need to plan it out. If this is actually an addiction, it must be planned. So, what are some triggers? Well, for example, very often, people can't sleep. You have to do something about your sleep. Maybe it's because, there's the environment in which you're sleeping is not conducive to it. Maybe it's the fact that you're alone at night. Or maybe it's because you're having headphones on. Right? Maybe it's, what could you do to remove those triggers? For example, well, one of them is to wake up really early. If you wake up really early and you do that consistently, we're not talking just 3 days. We're talking wake up 5:30 every single morning or 5 o'clock every single morning in order for you to actually be tired at the end of the night, at the end of the day. So that when you come home and it's 10 o'clock or 10:30, you're so dead tired that you just go into your bed and the moment you enter into your bed, boom, you're out. You're sleeping. That's one way of doing it, because then you're not in your bed by yourself alone thinking about, I wonder what, you know. The thing is that, like, we've been programmed as men to come home to our women. And then when you come home and you're by yourself, it's like it's something wrong. It's like, I didn't receive any reward for my hard labor today. And, you know, like, and that's why we turn to porn. It's just, that's because it's so easy, you know? So that's one way of removing triggers. Another way is maybe you need to have, you know, some other people in the same sleeping room as you. That's another way of doing it. Don't sleep by yourself. Don't have headphones on. Get up early in the morning and you'll figure out your own triggers. Everyone has their own separate ones. And you know what? Comment down below what your triggers are. And maybe that can help some people to like realize, oh yes, of course, that's my trigger as well. I need to do something about that. And replace them with positive triggers or replace them in general. Number 2, make it non-desirable. Now, I said, warning, drastic measures on this title. And the reason why is because let's actually do it. So for example, if your goal is to get rid of porn, your goal is to get rid of masturbation, then have some like nasty habits with your masturbation. So let's say, for example, fine, I'm allowed to masturbate as long as I'm not allowed to do it in the bathroom. So there's no shower, there's no toilet, right? So this is going to become disgusting. So, okay, I'm allowed to masturbate on my bed, and that's pretty much the only 3 places I would do it, because it's the only place that's kind of concealed from other people. What you do in the dark is what defines you. Okay, so let's make it very nasty and uncomfortable in your bed. How about every time you masturbate and ejaculate, do it on your pillow? And you're not allowed to turn the pillow, and you actually have to sleep with that same pillow that same night. Now that's a drastic measure, isn't it? Yes. What if you make a decision that you're not allowed to dry it up? There's no tissues, no nothing, no condoms, no anything to protect that ejaculation. And you have to sleep on it. Not sleep next to it, sleep on it. This is a drastic measure that's going to make it really uncomfortable to masturbate and to watch porn because it's disgusting. Or what about another one? Let's say, oh, I want to watch porn, but you know what? I'm not going to touch myself. I'm not going to masturbate. That's another way of doing it. But I mean, like, I don't recommend entering those porn sites at all because you become accustomed to it. You become normalized to it. Just kind of a detour now, just explaining something. Watching porn is a feminine trait. Femininity is all about sex. Masculinity is all about rationality, logical, and figuring out the future of what you want to create. Masculinity is about creating an amazing long-term future. Femininity is about being in the now. That's why, in general, if a sexual relationship should be a reward that men get where they are pulled into the now, yet their focus is on the long term. But they're being pulled in the now by the women of their choice, and it produces an amazing, wonderful experience that in some ways life is all about. Sex is a very, very important part of life. It's not that you should shut off yourself or eliminate your sexual drives forever. No, this is only for a time period. Eventually you'll want to get committed with women of your choice. This is a time period where you are learning to master yourself. Get rid of the Bayesian. Master yourself so that you can overcome it. And if you've overcome porn, you've overcome masturbation, now you are no longer up and down emotional. You have that, that calmness about you. And with that calmness, you can achieve great things, and that will prepare yourself for the committed relationships you're going to have in the future. That's going to give you tons and tons of joy. I've been married for 10 years. It's giving me tons of joy to develop that relationship with her. And we struggled a lot in the past. And it wasn't like I had gone without porn and masturbation for quite some time. I was a virgin when I got married at 23. But at 18, I decided no more porn, no more masturbation. And I pretty much, those 5 years, managed to stay away from it. Because I was a missionary 2 years in South Africa, Namibia. I was traveling all over the place. I was working really hard, but I was also making sure I was going to be a virgin before I got married, and I didn't want to interfere with those sexual desires. But guess what? Because of those 5 previous years, I was 7 previous years of massive masturbation and also some porn during that time. I didn't have much access to porn because I was living at home and with a very religious family, and I didn't, I had the computer, but my mom caught me one time, got really uncomfortable, so I didn't really, allow the cookies to work on the computer to show that I'd been on those places. I kind of stopped porn, so that was a positive thing. But masturbation was a very, natural part of my life as a teenager. And I wish that I hadn't gone through that process because, in my opinion, and this is just my experience, is that masturbation, having that goal of ejaculation and doing it quickly within 2 minutes, is one of the biggest reasons why premature ejaculation is a massive problem in the world today. Premature ejaculation is such a massive turnoff for women. And in some ways, it causes women to hate guys subconsciously because they can never trust that they will last. They can never trust them. And if they don't last, there's it's just wrong. It doesn't work. Anyway, that was my rant about that, about premature ejaculation, because there's a neural pathway that you create of wanting to get to the goal as fast as possible instead of enjoying the journey for 30 to 40 to 50 minutes to an hour, which what sex should be like. But you've trained yourself so much over those years of exercise and just like a spaghetti, one spaghetti is easy to break, but you put 100 spaghettis together, or 200 spaghettis together, or however many times that you've masturbated very quickly in your life because you didn't want to get caught. It becomes so hard to break, and it requires that you remove some of those spaghettis over time by not masturbating, by not watching porn, because it's going to be hard to break the habit. It's going to be hard. That's how it is. But once you've broken it, you've created discipline in your life to make it so that you can manage other aspects of your life successfully. That's how it is. So yeah, ejaculation on your pillowcase and on your bed in general, and sleeping on it, rubbing your face in it. Do it. It's disgusting. You might throw up. Fantastic, because that pathway that you're creating there is a positive one, and it will help you to stop masturbating and stop watching porn in your bed at night or in the morning, whenever it is that you do it. So try it. Anyway, next thing is your reticular activating system. Have you heard about that one? This is kind of like when you want a specific car and you're thinking about that car, eventually you see that car all over the place when you're driving. It's because your reticular activating system is thinking, that car, where is it? And before, you hadn't seen it at all, but now it's everywhere. It's the same thing with masturbation and porn. If you ejaculate on a consistent basis, your production will increase. And when your production of sperm increases, what ends up happening is that you are looking for ways to expel that seed anywhere you go. And women, especially desirable women, are designed in such a way that you want to expel your seed. And if you're continuously doing that all the time, it's the only thing you're gonna notice are women. Oh man, what a sucky life. Because, imagine if you managed to take that reticular activating system and switch it over to your goals. Switch it over to creating a business. Switch it over to, I'm looking for these specific people. I'm looking for these specific businesses that I need to go in and talk to them about an opportunity that I want to partner up with them about. I'm looking for opportunities, not women. Waste of time. Seriously, waste of time. Get rid of the women in your life right now. It's making you feminine or keeping you feminine. Right now, you need to spend time with guys, not for gay purposes, no. For business purposes, you need to spend time with masculine guys who are actually going somewhere with their life and who want to get somewhere. Stop living on social welfare if you are. It's a waste. Not only of, like, it's a waste of your life. If you're living on social welfare and you're comfortable with it, it's a waste of your life. If you're living on social welfare, it's a waste of other people's money that could have been spent more wisely. And taxes have to go up because of people like you. If you're living on social welfare, it's not a good thing. It's not a respectable thing. It's not an honorable thing, and you can never create a family out of that. You can't. You need to get outside yourself and get a job. And if you can't get a job, you need to figure out all the pathways that are necessary in order to get a job, except for academic education. Don't do that. But seriously, having a goal, having a business goal, and having a financial goal helps you to become the person that you should become. Finances is about serving other people. The more people you serve, the more money you'll make, and then the more power you have to do good and to serve more people with it. That's how finances work. And if you're thinking only about porn, masturbation, and all of that stuff, or even semen retention, if that's the only thing you're thinking about, like, you need to move on with your life. Like, right now, what I'm going to do with this channel is I'm going to talk about semen retention a lot because it's important and it's going to help you to focus on what's positive instead of the negative aspects of masturbation and porn. Focusing on semen retention makes it a positive thing, and you're making it more likely that you'll overcome porn and masturbation. You don't think about that. Think about semen retention. That's your next step. And after semen retention, maybe we're going to talk about business. Maybe we're going to talk about being disciplined in other aspects of your life and being productive. Maybe we're going to talk about dreaming and setting bigger goals for yourself. Thinking big. And the coolness of thinking big. Maybe we're going to talk about politics and how we can actually evolve things and that your vote actually counts. And how we can, make changes in society because we care about society. Maybe we're going to talk about how to create a family that actually works, not one of those that suck out there. I want to take you with this channel, the Men of High Value channel, to the top. It's not about staying down here and mellowing in our self-pity of, I can't overcome porn and masturbation. That's like basics. And we're going to overcome it together, okay? We're going to help you to do that. We're going to talk a lot about it, and we're going to give you hope that you actually can do it. Right now, I'm going to start explaining how many days I've been without ejaculation, because it's been a while right now. I'm saying, like my wife, she said that in the beginning of March, that's when I had my last ejaculation, but I don't remember that. So I'm saying 1st of March was my first day of non-ejaculation, let's say. And from then on, I'm going to explain how many days I've actually managed. So if there's 31 days in March, and today is the 6th, I've been 37 days without ejaculation. And I absolutely love it. It is fantastic. But I'm going to talk about tomorrow about if you don't use that semen retention to channel it into something else, it is worthless. And that's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow a little bit more. So anyway, this is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and I will see you again tomorrow right here on this channel. Talk to you later, guys.